Have you ever pondered why soldiers and priests in the Bible were not subject to Sabbath prohibitions on work? It may seem like a conundrum wrapped in an enigma, but today we'll uncover the truths hidden within the pages of the Holy Bible to answer this intriguing question. To understand this, we first need to delve into the Old Testament. The book of Numbers, chapter 4, verse 23 reads, "From 30 years old and above, even to 50 years old, you shall number them, all who enter to perform the service, to do the work in the tabernacle of meeting." This verse clearly indicates that the Levites, who were the priests, were commanded to work in the tabernacle even on the Sabbath. After all, this was work that was performed on a daily basis. Now you might ask, why were the priests exempt from the Sabbath rest when it was so explicitly commanded in Exodus 20 verse 10? The answer lies in the nature of their work. The priests were tasked with maintaining the spiritual well-being of the Israelites, a duty that could not be paused, even for a day. Can you think of other Old Testament passages that show priests working without rest for 7 consecutive days? Similarly, the soldiers had a perpetual responsibility to protect the nation. The book of 1 Samuel chapter 13 verse 22 describes how the soldiers stood guard, even on the Sabbath. Their work, like the priests, was essential and could not be put on hold. Can you think of other Old Testament passages where soldiers are on duty, even on the Sabbath day? Now let's fast forward to the New Testament. Here believers are frequently referred to as soldiers and priests. In 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 3, Paul urges Timothy to endure hardship as a good soldier of Jesus Christ. This metaphor illustrates that believers, like soldiers, are in a constant spiritual battle, and their duties cannot be suspended even on the Sabbath. Similarly, in the book of 1 Peter chapter 2 verse 9, Peter refers to believers as a royal priesthood. This reflects the idea that believers, like priests, are tasked with the spiritual duties of worshiping God and sharing the gospel, duties that need to be fulfilled daily. Can you think of other biblical passages where believers are called soldiers or priests? In conclusion, the Bible reveals that soldiers and priests in the Old Testament were exempt from Sabbath prohibitions due to their essential duties. This exemption is symbolically extended to believers in the New Testament, who are referred to as soldiers and priests. Their spiritual duties, like those of their Old Testament counterparts, are perpetual and do not cease on the Sabbath. So the next time you find yourself wondering about this biblical mystery, remember the soldiers and priests of old and the enduring spiritual duties of believers today. We need to ask Seventh-day Adventists a simple question. Whose idea was it, really, for believers, so clearly described as soldiers and priests, to cease working or do anything extraordinary on Saturday? I think we deserve an answer. Now, SDAs may wish to argue that while Exodus 20 forbids any work, other chapters say ordinary work. Let's see if they can solve their own riddle. Please ask them, did priests and soldiers perform their ordinary work on Saturday? The truth is, the prohibition on Sabbath work is only found in the Old Testament. Jesus, who is our best example, is in fact working like his Father on the Sabbath, and really there's no refuting that because it's found in John 5:16 through 18. Finally, I should like to invite you to give a thumbs up, subscribe, and maybe share this video for more thought-provoking content.